and if a cop pulls me over, I'm fully responsible for that ticket. I get it. Now, is that your new running theory? Okay, Dax, all it does is make right turns. Thank God it's gone on its own way to annoy some other driver. I hate how it doesn't use its signal till the very last minute, but the car just follows the lead car in front of it, and it just mimics what it's doing. Okay, obviously it doesn't have a brain. Okay, it's good as follow this idiot. What is telling it to turn and what is telling it to go straight? Is this car thinking on its own, like the computer that's operating this full self-driving software? I kid you not, it's taken forever. I'm just an idiot, and it's just gonna keep going straight until it has no choice but to turn left or right, and then it's just 50-50 at that point. So, does this car have a brain? Hear me out, this is what I mean. You know, this car, when driven in FSD, is amazing. It does some amazing maneuvers and some amazing things, but then it messes up too. And just like a human, how our brain is amazing, but then we make mistakes, and I think that's what makes us human. I'm wondering if we can relate that to this car, as in with its FSD computer or microchip, or however you want to put it. Does it actually have a brain? I'll tell you why I ask. I ask because, you know, every now and then I'll put the car in FSD and I'll have no destination, no navigation, like nothing mapped in the car, and it just drives in autopilot, but it's actually an FSD. And like I said, it's got no like destination, so it doesn't know it has to turn left or turn right at certain intersections or turns and stuff like that. And it just goes straight, but then every now and then it'll make a left turn, it'll make a right turn. So made me think, what is telling it? Like, what is it? Something like outside circumstance or things around its surroundings that's making it decide to turn left or turn right, or not turn left and not turn right? So it made me think, how is it thinking this? Like, is it something that's pre-baked in the software or in the chip or the algorithm or something like that? So I wanted to find out what it is. So I'm going to do a test. It's not scientific, it's just for fun, but let's do a test and let's find out. Come along with me. Okay, so let's start. We're in FSD here. I've never done this before, so I don't know if this is going to be a short drive or a long drive, like a short video or a long video. I started off on a residential street. I don't know if it makes a difference if I start off on a city street or probably not a highway. A highway would probably just keep going, and that could go very, very long in my opinion. But I figure a residential street, it's got lots of stop signs, lots of turns. Obviously, if it comes to a three-way T intersection and I can't go through the intersection, I have to go left or right, it's gonna make a turn. But this is the car doing it all by itself. This should be very, very interesting. So there is a lead car in front of us here. Like I said, I don't know if this is gonna be a long or short video. I may fast forward through some of the boring parts, or I may keep it running. I don't know. Okay, here's a pedestrian crossing literally 30 feet from the crosswalk that I just crossed because she couldn't use the crosswalk. But see, the car, it's like, you know what? The car doesn't have, you know, biases like I do, and I think that she's an idiot. The car doesn't think that. The car just does what it does, what it's supposed to do, and has no opinions. Okay, so these are all four-way stop signs, and it's going straight through. It's not turning at any of them. But I know coming up here is going to definitely be a three-way intersection, so it's going to have to pick left or right. So let's see. I don't know what it's going to do. Now, like I said, if in the comments below you guys think this is a stupid video and you know what's going on, okay, look, it's picking right. It's choosing to turn right. Okay, so that's interesting. There's no navigation in here at all. It's just going on its own, like I said before. Yeah, the car coming. It crept out, and looked like it was about to go, and I saw the car, and it stopped. And gave the right of way to the car. So, yeah, I'm not going to intervene. Obviously, I'm going to intervene if safety or I'm annoying somebody around me or behind me or in front of me or anything like that. I'll intervene then. But this isn't really even to test the reliability or the goodness or badness of FSD. I've done separate videos for that, and I can do more of that if you want. This video is solely to see what the car is thinking, like what if it's thinking, like what the computer or the algorithm or the compute, well, however you want to term it, what it's doing, like what it's thinking and how it's going about making these decisions. Well, you know what, at the end of this video, I don't even know if we'll figure out how it's going about making these decisions, but what we will figure out is, or what we will see, we may not figure out anything. If you figure something out, leave a comment down below, but I can tell you right now, by the end of this video, I probably won't figure out anything, but I will learn, maybe it's a better word, I will learn more of the decisions it's making. I won't know why, and unless you're a FSD engineer that miraculously happens to be watching this video because you have absolutely nothing better to do with such a small dinky channel like mine, but you're watching this and you can comment on it, oh, I would love that. Comment down below, I would love to know. But we're coming up to another intersection up here. There's a large tanker truck in front of us, so we're slowing this down anyways, but it's a red light either way. But it's going to be another three-way intersection with some construction, so it should be interesting to see which route it takes. So far it's one decision it had to do back there. It chose to go right. Will it choose to go right again, or will it choose to go left? See if there's any kind of a pattern maybe. And yeah, you can see on the map in a corner there that it denotes that it goes left or right. So the car should already know that it can't go straight. But when is it going to decide which way it's going to go? I'm going to talk about this like if it's got a brain, because I don't know if it does. Okay, obviously it doesn't have a brain, but some of the language or some of how I speak is going to sound like I'm talking about it as it's like a it's a person, or it's got sentient thinking and stuff like that. I'm not saying that. That's just the way I'm gonna vocalize or talk about it, okay? By the way, if I haven't told you, this is version 12.5.4.1. Still waiting for the end-to-end highway and city stack, which is version, I think, at least 12.5.6 or 6.5, one of the two. I'm waiting for it, but of course it's not ready for hardware 3 yet. Not that I know of, at least. Okay, let's see which way it goes. Will it follow the other car? Well, it didn't do that last time. Look, there's a hole in the ground there that it's avoiding. It's going to go left or right. Okay, it's going right. So it's not, because the direct car in front of us is going left. Tanker truck went right, so it's going right. And it's following the truck. Hopefully it's going the right way. Like I said, if I need to intervene, I will intervene for intervening reasons. Safety reasons. Okay, it's doing a great job here of navigating all these barrels, construction barrels and cones and stuff like that, and all the lane shifting that oh, by the way, if no one knows, or anyone wants to know, or maybe people are familiar with this area is in Halton, in a small town that isn't so small anymore called Milton, Ontario. This is Britannia. I forget what highway number it is. This is Britannia. This used to be, when Milton and Halton used to be a small little farm town of just, a few 10,000 people or so. And it used to be just a single 2-lane east and west roadway. Now they've expanded it. Now it looks like it's 6 lanes, 3 each way. But they've been working on this road for probably 7 or 8 years. So this, officially or unofficially, by my standards at least, is the longest road in the entire world. And when I say longest, I mean longest to construct. This has taken the longest time in human history. I think glaciers carved out continents quicker than this road has been constructed and widened. It has taken so long. If this was, and I've said this to my friends and family that in this area, if this was China, and I'm not talking about their labor laws and all that kind of stuff. And so let's not get into the political part of it. But if this was China, this roadway would have been done in 3 weeks. Instead, this is like year 7 or 8. I kid you not, it's taken forever. And it's still not done. As you can see, it looks done, but there's cones and everything all over the place. So anyways, I'm off on a tangent. As we continue here on Britannia, the longest widening construction road in history, not even human, in the entire age of the earth. And we're going straight still. Like I said, this may be a very boring video. I might edit all this part out because you don't need to know about Britannia's widening construction. So as you can see, we've went from residential, like suburbs and, you know, residential neighborhoods and stuff like that, to now we're not urban, obviously, we're not city streets, but this is more, as you can see, a 3-lane roadway in each direction. So this is away from the, you know, the neighborhood, small little residential streets, now more to the suburbs streets, like it's a typical suburb street. Coming up to a red light here. It could go either way. It could go one of 4 ways, and it's deciding to go straight. I don't know if it's following the rest of the traffic or not, but this is what why I wanted to do this experiment. This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see if I'm just an idiot and it's just going to keep going straight until it has no choice but to turn left or right, and then it's just 50-50 at that point, or if it's actually thinking. And the reason I asked this, and the whole reason this video even, you know, was hatched in my head, was because in the past I've driven without a destination, without a navigation route in here, and just to keep it, you know, lane centered, and I didn't want to have to switch back to autopilot. I was just an FSD, and when I want to go straight, all of a sudden it wants to turn. So I'm thinking, like, that got me thinking, like, why is it wanting to turn? Like, what is telling it to turn and what is telling it to go straight? Because there's no navigation. It's not following it. It's not following a detailed map. It's not following a route. It is following a detailed map, but some would argue it isn't. It's actually there's no maps needed, and it could do it. And I've seen that. I've seen it off road. There was a video by TFL EV where they took the Cybertruck in FSD off road, and I've seen it myself. I've taken this not off road, but I've taken this where it's not an actual marked road or street on the maps, and it's driven. It's lane kept, and it's driven the speed limit or within the speed limits of the roadway of what it was doing. So it can do it. I've done it when I've gone camping many times. But yeah, like without it knowing or given a task, I want to know why it decides to go straight and why it decides to turn and stuff like that. So here we are. I'll come back when we do something exciting. Okay, we're back, and this is interesting. We've got a road sweeping machinery on here, plus this lane ends in another 100 meters. Okay, so the road sweeper has moved off. It's given it a wide berth here, and it's probably thinking, what the hell is this idiot doing? And the road is ending in this, and the lane is ending, and of course, nobody's behind. Well, there is somebody behind me, but far enough. But this is the interesting part. Here's a roundabout. What's it going to do? It's got 4 options, just like a intersection. Is it going to take the first? Okay, this person doesn't know what they're doing. Okay, it's going to follow this idiot. Okay, so it made a right turn. Now, did it make a right turn because it's following this car? And you know, that's a theory. You could say, and as of now, you wouldn't be wrong to say, the car just follows the lead car in front of it, and it just mimics what it's doing. Could be. We don't know. We'll see. So we're continuing on in a 70 zone, doing 64 behind this person that doesn't know how to use a roundabout, didn't know how to stay in its lane when the other lane was ending. Now they've achieved the speed limit. Congratulations. What? Okay, so now it's turning. Look at this. See, this is interesting. It's turning. Okay, no, it just changed lanes. But of course, it changed lanes into a lane that's ending just up ahead. So what's it going to do? It's going to catch itself. It's going to cut this person off. This person that's beside me now that doesn't know what they're doing. I hate how it doesn't use its signal till the very last minute, but that person that was way behind. Coming up to another roundabout here. Let's see what it decides to do. One of three options. What's it going to do? Is it going to follow the white van? Okay, so it turned right again, and it didn't follow that white van. So that's very interesting. Anyone that was betting earlier, oh yeah, it just follows the lead car. Well, that was the white van. It didn't follow the white van. And looking in my rearview mirror, it didn't follow that black RAV4 didn't follow us, thank God. It's gone on its own way to annoy some other driver in Halton. So, okay, so it's made, think about it. It's made every turn, it's made a right turn. So now is that your new running theory? Okay, Dax, all it does is make right turns if left unattended. When it gets a chance, it'll just make a right turn. It'll make a right turn at T intersections, and it'll make a right turn at roundabouts. That could be. I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna keep this going, and like I said, just fast forward until something happens. Okay, I don't like this. We passed a sign back there that said it was a flashing 50 community safety zone, 50 kilometers an hour. That's a school right beside us there that we just passed. It was doing mid 60s. I don't like that. It should recognize that, and that's something that it needs to get into. Now it's whipping by here. There's a posted sign here still saying 50 during school hours. The school hours there's a bunch of different school hours. It's doing close to 70. So there's a school. It's an elementary school. We shouldn't be going that fast. I'm paying full attention, and if a cop pulls me over, I'm fully responsible for that ticket. I get it. But I was paying attention. There was no kids around. I would have intervened and taken over if needed. You can start roasting me down in the comments below now about that. Go ahead. Okay, so and during that time we passed a bunch of 50s. We passed a bunch of intersections that it could have opted to go left or right if it wanted to. Okay, so we're coming up to a red light here. The lead car is turning right. Let's see what it does. It's opting to go straight by the looks of it. Yeah, the lead car. So we can almost rule out for sure that it's not following the lead car, which is good to know, because if you are the lead car and there's nobody in front of you, like I am in right now in this situation, I mean, what would it do? It would have to make a decision. Okay, so let's see what it does. I mean, it's going to go straight, but we've got some roundabouts coming up ahead. Let's see what it does with the roundabouts. We've got, if I remember correctly, we've got no less than 2 roundabouts coming up. Okay, slowing down for this roundabout here, with cars in front of me and cars behind me. Like I said in the previous video, it doesn't seem to have a problem with roundabouts. It seemed to have nailed it quite fine. Okay, it's going straight. The only thing, if I notice if there's no cars around, and it's a multi-lane roundabout, it will stretch over into the other lane lazily. And my wife comments on that all the time. She says, "Oh, it shouldn't do that. It's terrible." I think it's because it knows there's no cars around and it's driving much more like a human than we think. And that's what humans do. They get lazy. Okay, so it's switching into the left lane here for this upcoming roundabout. That's the inside lane. So let's see what it does. It's got one of 3 ways it can go. It should have almost, I was ready to take over. It should have taken, okay, see, it's going straight. And that's what I'm talking about, how it sort of goes over the line, and now it's coming up to this red light and it's going left. Okay, so this is the first left. So if you had the bingo chip that said it's only making all right turns, well, you're wrong in that case, in this case, because now it's making its first left in however long this video is. I don't know. It seems to me it's about 15-20 minutes. What I was saying is there was a car coming up in that roundabout that it probably, if I was driving, I would have probably yielded for that car. It made it. The car didn't have to slow down. It looked fine. I didn't get anyone honking at me, or they weren't aggressive and they weren't pissed off. But I'm a very courteous driver. Sometimes I would have probably waited for that car and let it go. FSD didn't, and it was smooth and everything. Okay, so we made a left. So now we haven't done a loop, but we've almost done a loop if you're paying attention and you're mapping this out in your head or on paper at home. Why you would, I have no idea, but let's see what happens now. So we've made 2 rights. We've taken 2 roundabouts. The first exit, which is a right on a roundabout. And we've went through 2 roundabouts straight. Mind you, those 2 roundabouts, those last 2 roundabouts, you couldn't turn right. Those are, there is no right turn. It's just cornfields. Why it's slowing down? Nobody is behind me for that intersection there, that crosswalk. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back in the map and take a look and see what it saw, or if it's just doing one of those phantom braking things, which it's doing quite a bit in this version for some reason, sadly. And then it made its first left. So 2 rights, 2 roundabout rights, and then 1 left. So, and I have no idea. Once again, I encourage you guys watching this at home, if you have any idea why, let me know down in the comments below. Is this car thinking on its own, like the computer that's operating this full self-driving software? Is it thinking on its own? Is it like, what is it doing? I know I sound like an idiot asking this almost rhetorical but not rhetorical question, where there may be much smarter people at home than me, which I'm sure there are, watching this and thinking, you are such an idiot, Dax. Don't you understand what it's doing? Well, no, I don't. And that's why I made this video, to maybe get you guys to watch and put our heads together, or you just educate me and tell me what it's doing. Why this stack or compute or algorithm, I don't know. I'm not a computer guy, so I don't know what the correct terminology is. Why it's doing what it's doing, and what Tesla has designed or baked into this. So now we're getting into like more of a not a city, because this definitely is not like a downtown urban city, but in this part of urban or rural, semi-rural, semi-urban, I guess you could call this the suburbs. This part of this town or this city, this is going to be the city version of this town. That's what we're coming up to now. And this is late lunch hour, so there's a little bit of traffic. Oh, it's going into the right lane. I'm not sure why, because both lanes seem to be equally the same, so it's not like one was going faster than the other. See, so that's another question. Actually, that's not really much a question. I was going to say, why would it change lanes when it doesn't have a route to go on? But I can understand that. That I can almost answer myself. Yeah, if there's more traffic in one lane and it wants to get into the other lane, because it predicts a blockage of some sort or a slowdown, I can see that. I can see that written into the software for that kind of thinking. Okay, now it's going over into the fast lane, the left lane. My rationale for that would have been, okay, that truck that was in front of us, that delivery truck, it's gone up ahead now, was in the lane and it didn't like it because maybe it was going too slow, so that's why it switched over. By the way, we are in what I should tell you, I should have told you this before, we were in average settings for autopilot, and minimal lane change is off. So basically just average. That's the setting we've been in the whole entire time. So the light's green, we're going. This is a good drive in terms of FSD reliability. It's doing good. Like, it's doing its own, and that could be because it doesn't have a destination. So we're more, as we're sitting here driving, we're more forgiving. But we're coming up to another intersection here where it has a choice of going 3 ways, and it chooses to go straight. Now what's going to happen in the next couple lights, because I know my area, my way around this area, and I'm familiar with it, it's going to get to another T intersection where it can only go left or right. So let's see what it does. Be very curious. Okay, so it's not this light coming up, but the next light, it's going to have to pick left or right. Okay, so it's in the left lane. Does this mean it's going to choose to go left? Or is it going to cut off this van? Yeah, it's choosing to go right. It's not cutting off. The van is actually stopping or slowing down. So it made a nice lane merge or lane change there. And it's choosing to go right. So interesting. All 3 T intersections that are controlled by traffic lights, it chose to go right. Is that just a coincidence, or is that a pattern? There's a cement truck. Don't go with a freaking cement truck. I don't want to get T-boned by a cement truck, FSD. Okay, thank God. FSD saved my life. It didn't go when a cement truck was coming. But it was creeping out a little bit, making me a little bit nervous. My foot was right on the brake pedal. Okay, so I get that. Doesn't want to be near the cement truck, especially with all the shit that it drops off. I get it, wants to pass it. But, you know, if you're going to pass it, pass it. Don't just drive up beside it. Got black schmutz or wet schmutz all over the car now. And now we come up to a red light. This Hyundai driver is practically halfway in the intersection because they didn't stop properly at the stop line. I get it. They don't know what they're doing. They're driving a Hyundai. And we're still beside this enormous cement truck. I'm going to put on the wipers just because it wet my windshield a little bit as we were driving beside it. Okay. Let's see what it does. Like, I mean, I think on this road now, this road, it could go straight forever. And there's no roundabouts that I can think of on this road. Okay, so, but now it's changing into the right lane. It wants to be tucked right in behind this Hyundai for some reason. Or it could be because this red car was right on my butt wanting. I know FSD is good for getting out of the fast lane when somebody's right on you. So it could be for that reason. That Honda driver in the red car was in a hurry to pass us, only to turn right up there. Okay. Everyone's in a hurry these days. Okay, not sure why you wanted to slam on the brakes there going through that intersection. That gray car turning left on the opposing traffic lane, did that make it nervous? I don't know. But I had to press the accelerator just to keep it going through the intersection. Doing it again with this intersection, it just slammed on the brakes. Luckily nobody's behind me. I can just tap the accelerator a little bit. But we're in a 70 kilometer hour zone, which is about 45 miles. And we're doing 50 miles, 80 kilometers, only to slam on the brakes a little bit there. When I say slam on the brakes, like not slam on the brakes and lock up the brakes, but it does press the brakes and slow down considerably. Okay, it's changing lanes to the right-hand driving lane. It was hanging out for the most part in the passing lane the entire way on this road. For anyone paying attention at home and anyone that's interested or familiar, to your right is a place I call hell, but it's called the Toronto Premium Outlets. Interestingly enough, it's nowhere near Toronto. We're easily 30 miles, 25 to 30 miles outside of Toronto, but they call it the Toronto Premium Outlets. The only good thing about it is it has a electrified Canada charging stops here. I think it's 350 kilowatt, but it's a zoo in there, and it's madness, and I would never want to go there. But it is Toronto, and typical another example of a place calling itself Toronto that isn't in Toronto is our international airport, Pearson International Airport, which is Toronto Pearson International Airport. It's not even in Toronto, but it's closer. It's technically in Mississauga, which is a suburb outside of Toronto, just next to Toronto, but at least it's next to Toronto. We're nowhere close to next to Toronto, but we call it Toronto Premium Outlets. I call it hell. Okay, folks, I'm gonna call it here. It had another opportunity it was a three-way intersection. It could have turned left. It decided to go straight. I guess the path of least resistance, and maybe that's what this whole entire thing is about, the path of least resistance. We're coming up to another intersection here. I'm probably going to turn it off. That was just an experiment that I wanted to do, and I wanted to bring you guys along for it to see what it would actually do. Now, what may be even more of a better experiment, I guess you could say, is if I went right back to the start right now and did the route again and see if it would do anything different, or if it would do everything the same and it would have the exact same route, and 20 minutes, half an hour later, we'd end up exactly where we are now. I don't know. Interesting theory. Maybe I should do that. But let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. Has this been top of mind for you? Have you guys been curious about this yourself? Have you wondered why? Have you even tried it? Maybe you never put it in FSD when you didn't have a destination in there. I have, like I said, a handful of times. That's what led me to this. This is why I was curious about it. But if you have a explanation or a theory or just your opinion, respectable opinion, I should say. If you have a respectable opinion or a theory, or you know exactly why out of navigation it does what it does and it turns, and when it turns, let me know down in the comments below. I would love to know. Like I said, the whole reason I made this video is to educate myself and you at home. I want to know, and I'm sure you want to know, else you probably wouldn't be watching this entire video till the end. And I congratulate you. If you guys get to the end of my videos, I congratulate you. I want to say, okay, I want to go this way because I'm going to go to a supercharger and get some juice. Yeah, if you guys get to the end of my videos, I know some of my videos can be boring, so I'm very impressed for the people that get to the end of my video. And if you are at the end of the video, let me know by putting a comment down below using the word self-storage. I'm passing a place that says self-storage. Put self-storage down in a comment below, then I know you got to the end of this video. If you get to the end of this video and you look in the comments and nobody has said self-storage, that means nobody is either got to the end, and I kind of not surprised, or people are too lazy to put self-storage in and play along at home with this silly game that I'm just curious about. So, but if you can, put self-storage down in the comment below and let me know that means that you've gone to the end of this video, and I appreciate you and love you for it. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll catch you on the next one. We're still going straight. We haven't done anything out of the ordinary in a long time. Bye-bye.